If you go to the internet and let's surf for, I'm gonna go here, internet, and pinterest.com. I'm gonna search for the fence designs. Right, I'm gonna go with this one. Perfect. Let's see what we can get here. Scroll down. What I'm looking for is something that will have columns and a combination of columns, rails. Yeah, something like this. If you click on this one, and I'll right click and save this image. Save it on the desktop. I already have it here. I can replace this one. I'm gonna hit on save. Let's do that, and then I'm gonna open the folder for that. Okay, so let's go to our ArchiCAD. I already have a new ArchiCAD project file open there. I need to bring in the image here for the purpose of referencing. If you have two screens, you can display, okay, you can have the image being displayed on an extra screen, but for the sake of this demonstration, because I can only record one screen, so I'll have to embed or have my image within the ArchiCAD for referencing purposes. So I'm gonna open the desktop, drag and place the image here. Perfect. So we have an image, we're good to go. So before we start, I would like to look at the image first, or the design first, and try to decompose this, break it down into some components. If you look at this image, we have a column or columns. The columns with a little bit of a detail at the top, which is the capping, and then we have this grooves, or what you call, whatever you can call, maybe rebates or something. And then we have the rails, steel rails. Then at the bottom we have a dwarf wall with also a little bit of a capping on top. So these are the things that we really need to be aware in terms of how we're going to construct this into our ArchiCAD. Of course, we're gonna have an approach whereby we look these components individually or separately in order for us to come up with something related to this. So what I would do, I will activate a railing tool, because it's the perfect tool to design this kind of structures in ArchiCAD. So if you go here under tool palettes and then activate the railing tool, but if you click on this arrow, there is available favorites that comes with the default ArchiCAD template. I would like to go with this timber fencing because it's the only fencing favorite available here. So let's double click on it, and I'm going to draw it on the floor plan here by specifying the first point, and then I'll key in the length of the fence. 10 meters, it's fine, which is 10,000 millimeters. I'm using millimeters for this, and then I'll hit OK. Double click, right click and hit OK to complete the placement of your railing. So if we check on 3D, we have more like this. To start with, it takes a height of a railing, not a fence. So that's one thing that we need to change. So if you scroll down here on your info box, or you just go to the settings dialog, and under segment, let's increase or set the height of this to be 2000, right? That will be the height of our fence. Perfect, we're good to go. Now let's go back to the image. We're gonna start our design by doing the columns first. Okay, so I'm going to activate a column tool, then I'm going to change the material under the structure here to be concrete structural, and then I'm going to scroll down here. The height of the column shouldn't be depending on the height of my stories here, so I'm going to unlink that. Let's unlink this to the upper story so that we can set the height of our column manually here. When it comes to the thickness and the width of the column, 300 by 300, I think it's perfect. Or can we go for 400? Let's go for 400 for both sides. Okay, I'm good to go. I'm going to place the column here. There we go. If we check on 3D, we have pretty much this kind of a thing. Nothing fancy, nothing complex. But in terms of the surface or the material, the surfaces, for example, it has to match what we have on the image. So I'm going to select the column, open its settings, then I'll override the surfaces under model. So I'm going to make it paint gray, Let's make it paint gray. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Make sure all the surfaces are linked, and then hit OK to apply the changes. Perfect, we're good to go. But if we go back to the image again to reference, we have a capping above or on the top of the column, which is this element. So let's go back. What we can use a slab to achieve that, or a morph, but I'll pick a beam or a wall for the reason that I'm going to explain here, because at the end of the day it has to have a function. The function of this is to protect the column against rainfall, and it has to drain the water appropriately. So by using a slab tool, I don't think you'd achieve that detail. I'm going to use a beam tool. Let's activate the beam tool, then set the material to be concrete as well, and I'll scroll down here and set this to be 400 by 300. The width of it, I'm gonna go 100 by 100 for now as a starter, and then I'm gonna go back here and place this column, the beam. So I'm gonna use a rectangular geometry to place this, because I just want to place it by using 2 points diagonally. So the first point will be this corner, and then the second point diagonally will be that corner. Perfect. So we've placed that. So if you check on 3D, this is what you have. It has to be sitting on top of the column. I'm gonna drop it down. Let's make it on the ground floor, the link, and then set it to be 2.1. Perfect. So it's right in the position where we want. Now we have to make it same color with the column. I'm gonna go to the its settings, and then select under the segment, or select the segment section. Then let's go to model to override all this. Then I'm gonna lock or link all the surfaces that I want to change it to be automatically, all the size will be changed. I'm gonna go with the height, hit OK to apply these changes. All right, now we have this issue here to address of the gap that created by this. So to fix this, we can select one of this, or just select all. Then let's go to options and open complex profiles. I'm going to open the profile manager, and then once it's open here, I'm going to go here under element selection and then capture the profile for our beam. Okay, the first thing that I need to do is because this gap, we need to close it. Okay, so I'm going to close it by offsetting the edge of the beam by 100 millimeters this way on the left side, and then I'm going to save this as a capping. Hit enter or OK to save that. It's been saved. If you go back to the 3D, you can now apply the profile to this, but in ArchiCAD you cannot apply a profile to elements that are grouped in this situation. For example, we need to suspend or check the suspend groups, or just hit Alt and Alt plus G is your shortcut key, or your key shortcut, and then we can apply. I thought this would be closed. We have this little space that is left. I don't know why it's not. I can just measure by hitting M in your keyboard. It was supposed to be 150 instead of 100. That offset that we did here. So I need to add that 50. I'm gonna pick the profile and then make sure under the tool, the tool that we're gonna pick under the tool, the pet palette is offset by 50. Let's move I'm gonna move it to here. Perfect. Let's save. If you go back to our 3D, I thought what is it left now? Oh my god, 25. It was supposed to be 200, right? Sorry about that, yes. It was supposed to be 200, and then hit save. It should be enough. Wow. What's going on with this? 25. Save. Perfect. Now it's been closed. That's what we have basically, but it has to protrude a bit from the sides all around the column, so that I'm going to fix it by offsetting this side of the edge. I'm gonna protrude by 30, then hit save. It should be fine. That was too much, right? I think it was too much, but yeah, let's reduce it by 10 to make it 20. Okay, I think it's perfect. It looks great. So now we need to add that detail of drainage. For example, it has to slope, right? I'm gonna go back to here, and then I'm going to pick this corner, drop it down maybe by 20 millimeters. And then if I hit save, it's going to be dropped like that. Now we have this kind of a detail. It doesn't look that much, but we can go back and increase if we want. Maybe increase the height here by 15, then hit save. It should be pretty much yes. If you want it to be prominent, you can go a higher value. You can go a higher value for 20, then hit save. Let's see. Okay, so that's basically what we have, and I can close this profile manager, and let's go back to the reference image. We have our column, but if you look at the column, has this kind of grooves that we need to create. Let's say what can we do? I think for now I can come back later and add this detail to the column, but let me see if this would work in terms of placing it on the railing, because we need to replace this post in our railing. For example, we have this post in our railing that we need to replace with this. How do we replace that? We need to save this as an object first, as a GDL component, because and then go in the settings of this, because if you come here and then go to the inner posts, right, we have a post here, and then if you look at the profile, or we have an option to select a GDL. This is what we have as a default or examples that comes with the template. So now we need to create our own GDL object that represent a post that will act as a column. Does it make sense? Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I'm going to select this like that and go to File, Libraries and Objects, save selection as a railing post. Okay, so it said the top view of the selected elements will be used as a floor plan view of a new object. Pretty much what I'm looking for. You can either save it on the floor plan in order for you to get rid of this information, but if I save it on 3D, remember this will be always a case, just to remind you that the top view of the element is going to be the floor plan. All right, then I'm gonna hit OK because I agree with that. Then this will be our column, whatever, I'll just say column A for example, then hit save. I'll hit OK. Doesn't need to change that. All right, so let's see how we can bring that information to our railing. I'm going to select the railing, open the settings, we come here, we find now we have a column A here. It doesn't have a picture preview as others, but it's something that we can also add if we want. So I'm going to double click on this to load it. Now it's been loaded here, and it has some custom settings to deal with. We have the lines, type, surfaces, and pens. For the pens, I'm going to go for pen 25, I think, for everything. Let's go for this pen. Pen 41 in the pen color, in the color table. For everything, 41. I'll hit OK. The building materials should be dependent on the GDL object. That one I'll leave it as it is. And hit OK. Boom. We have now our columns placed on the railing. Okay. So even if I extend or stretch this rail all the way, the column will be fixed and be distributed along the length of your wall, your perimeter fence, for example. Pretty much in what we want. Okay, so the next component is the base wall, right? This wall. So we're gonna do the same thing. Draw a wall or create a wall, then do that. In this case, we're going to use a profile, because if you look at here, let's select this. I'm going to do it on 3D so that you can be able to follow along nicely. if you open the settings of this, because this is, we're going to use this rail to represent that dwarf wall, so it also have the GDLs, stuff like that. But for now, we're going to use a profile. We have an option to use a profile, so we're going to create a profile of our dwarf wall. Pretty much this, I don't know, this might be roughly 300, 400. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the options, complex profile, and open our profile manager, because this time around we're not capturing a profile for a selected element. We're creating a new profile. Let's just say new, then this will be our base wall, and then hit OK. So basically this is what we have as a default. I don't like what I'm seeing here. You can just delete everything if you want, just to start on a clean slate like that. And let's come here under documents, activate our field, because profiles works with fields, because fields represent materials, as you could see here. I need to change this to brick. Okay, I'm gonna go with this brick, then draw it from this origin point. The thickness of the wall will be 300 millimeters, and the height will be, let's go for 500, something like that. And then we need to create, if you look at, we have this again, a capping to our wall, so we need to represent that in our profile. So I'm going to pick parameters of this, and then go in the info box. Let's change the material to, this will be a concrete. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw that there. This will be the dimensions. I can say 300 by, let's make it 100, the height of this. So then we need to offset, it has to protrude on the sides by, let's make it 50 both sides. Right, I'm going to take this away from the element. Now I need to insert another point here on the center point. I'm going to click that and then insert a new point like that, then drag it to the top by let's make it 20, then save. It says some modifier do not have an assigned edges. This will be removed before storing. Remove, yes, and then okay. Perfect. Because when we started, we duplicated, instead of creating a new from scratch, we have to do, we duplicated the other profile. That's why it asking a lot of information for us to, it doesn't matter, you can just delete and then have a clean profile. So once it's saved, let's go here on 3D, and I'm going to minimize this like that. Okay, so let's go to the settings of this railing. We already highlighted this rail. Let's change it to a profile rail. Then we need to go down here under component settings, then change or set the newly created profile for, I said what? It was a base wall, right? Yes. Whoa, the mistake that I did is not available here, you see, from the list, because when I saved it from the profile manager, it was only used for walls. So I need to make it available for railing. So I'm going to go to edit, then activate the railing, then hit save. Let's go back to our 3D and open the settings of this. Now we would find we have, where are we? Okay, we are here. Select that, rail settings. We need to change this to a profile, then come here, and we must have our base wall profile available, which is this. Let's key in there. Perfect, we've loaded that there. As you can see, it's not pretty much on the exact position you are looking for, but the fact that it's there, it's amazing. We can now deal with the situation that we are having. The first thing that I need to do is to deal with the material first. We have to match what we have on the image. As you can see, these are much more like blocks, but they are grayish kind of. To achieve this, we can create what you call a texture. or just find a brick that is black in color. I don't think I have it on my list. So let's go to the options and then open the surfaces. I'm gonna see if I have that in another brick. So all the bricks here are red, but what we can do, we can duplicate this. Okay, I'll just leave it as okay, let's say brick black for example. I thought to leave it as red, but let's just, and then if you go here under texture, if we browse image from the list that we have there, I think ArchiCAD has an extensive amount of images for almost everything. I'm gonna find something that will resonate with what, yeah, there is a brick black. Perfect. I found it. Where is it? Should you go with this one? Let me know in the comment section what you think. Oh, but let's just go with, okay. I'm indecisive. This or that, this or that, this or that. I'll pick this one. Let's go with this one. The good part of it, we can always come back and change. So there's no point of rushing. Then I'll hit OK. So if we go to the profile manager to change the material, I want to change the material of our brick, right? So this will be now, instead of, okay, I see. This is the material that is being used by this brick. So we need to change it or go back to our elements attributes, right? And then this time around, open building materials. So this is the brick that is being selected. Remember, in ArchiCAD we have two different things, materials and surfaces. These are two different I know in other software this might be one and the same thing, but here what you're saying, building materials is the actual material that assemble the component or the element, and then surfaces are more like finishes of that element, right? I hope it makes sense. So now these are material, which is a brick. I need to duplicate this, and then or instead of duplicating, I can just modify the surface of this by activating or putting the one that we just created, which is brick black. Where is it? There we go. And then hit OK, something like that. So if you have to save this, it will be changed automatically, as you see. I don't think the alignment is the one that I want, so I need to rotate the surface. Let's go back to elements attributes, not building materials, surfaces rather. Let's go for surfaces. Okay, I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees because as it is, it's yeah, 90 degrees. And then I can also change, I saw, see the color of this, it's supposed to be black, so I'm going to change it to black or gray, whatever. Hit OK. There we go. It has been changed. Perfect. Perfecto. Like it. Like it. Like it. I can change the size of the bricks to really match what's in the image here, because these are blocks instead of stock bricks. Okay. So let's see now to address the issue of because the column and the pair has to be in the position that will make sense. So if you go back to the image, you see this, it's in the middle of the column. Okay, so we need to set it to be that way. So there are two ways. Is either we do it on blend view. If you zoom in here, you find, okay, our columns are not visible there. So what we need to do, let's go back to the 3D, and I'll have to select that. Then let's make sure everything sits on I'm going to, yeah, this, I'm going to say, wow, no, it's not the one that would define that. I might have to use the edit, yes, the edit mode option, and then select this. Let's set it to be 0. Oh, I can just also do it, let me just do it under the settings. So this instead of under the railings, instead of 150, I'm gonna make it 0. Then hit end. No, why is it doing that? It reduces the height. Okay, I know there must be an option to change this. Get rid of the fixing. What else again? Wow. This and that. Yes. If you go here under railing settings, I'm going to, this is the rail height, this is the offset origin. Yeah, I'm gonna make it 100 for now. It went outside, so it needs to be in negatives. I'm going to say negative 100. Wow, it has to be negative 50 in order for it to sit on the middle of my column. Let's say negative 50. It's not in the center. Why not? I said negative 100. Oh, I think should be 20. I don't know why it's giving me that challenge. If you say 10. Let's say 0. I don't know why. 0, it went far. Okay, maybe our post also needs to be on 0, right? So I can see the, where is the offset? We don't have the offset for that here. So this has to be negative 5, for example. Oh, that will be a problem. That is a problem. Hit on edit, select this, make sure it's 10, maybe 10, 5, 2. What is wrong with, oh sorry, what is wrong with this thing? Let me make it that way. Oh, I see. The main problem, wow, the main problem is the profile, guys. Is the profile, because on the origin point, it's sitting on the edge. It's supposed to sit in the middle. Okay, I need to address this by moving this to there. I'm just going to bring this, guys, to there. Then from there, hit save. Let's see. Perfect. Wow, it was so stressful. Okay, but by the look of the image, you find, or you see, there's a little bit of recess there. Mine is too much, so I'm gonna go back here, and then instead of making this 300, I'm gonna make it 200. I'm gonna get rid of 100, and then make sure it sits on the center of the origin. Then this, I can Control K to reduce or scale it down from the midpoint that way by 180. Okay, something like that, and then hit save. If you go back, it will be updated. Now it's more like what's in the image, which is pretty much what I wanted. Okay, so I think the column, I need to change the material as well before I save. So I can just select this, then go to its settings, change this to brick black, something like that. Oh, now because we've rotated this to align it with the wall, now on the column it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go back to our surfaces, then duplicate this. Let's duplicate, and then we're gonna have black column, just for whatever's sake. Then come here under text, keep it at 0, hit enter, then assign that brick column there. Perfect. So now I can save. Let's save this again from file, libraries and objects, save a selection as a railing post. Hit OK. I'm gonna replace this because wow, hit OK. It didn't replace this. Maybe I should go back and on the post, let's see, I can do this and then bring the post back again. Perfect. has been changed, has been applied. Pretty. Okay, so we have the column and the base, the wall base in place. So let's go back to the image and see. Now we're going for the railing, for the steel railing. We have this horizontal steel railing. Let's see how we can manipulate this in our wall. Right. So I'm going to select this again, open its settings. Then instead of having, so these are going to be represented by the balusters, which is this element. So I'm going to select it like that. We are having rails instead of balusters, right? So let's go here under baluster settings. We are having this kind of railing post. I'm trying to see if we can rotate this horizontally. If it doesn't work, I'm going to get rid of it. I don't think it will work. Let me just get rid of it. And then instead of, I'm going to use handrails, right? And then I'm going to add, how many are they? I'll have to go back to the image and confirm. I'll add another one. How many do we have? Add another one here. Oh, sorry. This should be a built-in profile. And make sure it's square. I don't know how big. 25 by 25. I think it's fine. I'm gonna go with 25 by 25 for all of this. 25 by 25. Same as to this one. 25 by 25. Okay, now is the issue of distribution. Okay, this one also needs to be 25 by 25, and the material should be steel, whatever. So if you hit OK, there we go, you have this kind of system. But then if you look at the image, how many do we have in terms of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they are staggered in terms of the size. So we have this one, and then the white one, even the color as well. So wow, we have a challenge here. I'm gonna go back. I don't know, should I use I don't think I'll manage to make it with this one there, because if the balusters were be able to rotate, become horizontal, I think that will be a great thing. Baluster, they can't rotate. There's no way we can rotate the balusters. Oh, here, it's here. No, on the axis. It's on the axis, I thought. All right, so now if we have that kind of a challenge, the best way is to create a profile, because this rail can be turned into a profile. Can be turned into a profile. So we need to create a profile that will represent, I'm gonna close this, that will represent what's in our image. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rails. So I need to reflect it here. So what I'll do, I'll say I'll pick a fill tool, for example, and then I'll try to mimic this by just having a, let's say I'm gonna have a fill of I was going for, this might be the thickness of, let's say 10, right? And then the height should be, I'm seeing this should be 50. Hit enter. Yes, there we go. And then what's following, I think it's twice as the first one. So I'm going to say Ctrl+Shift+D, or to make a copy of this, and then I'm going to make it 60 because I want a distance of the gap between of 10 millimeters. And then I'll pick this, make it double like that. And then the third one, it's a little bit of half of the first one. So I'm going to Control Shift D, put it here, Control D, move it by 10 millimeters because that's what I want, and then you're gonna push it back by 10 because it looks much lesser than the first one, maybe by 20. Okay, so we have that. Let's move on to the fourth one, which is more or less the same size with the first one. No, I think it's 70%. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one, Control Shift D in your keyboard, and this time around the copy base point will be this corner, and I'll paste it on this corner as well. I'm gonna reduce this by sorry about that, reduce this by 20 or maybe 30, like I said. Okay, so this is the fourth one. Let's move on to the fifth, which is more or less similar with the white one. So I'm going to copy this, Control Shift D. I'll use this as a base point, then there. Okay, let's move on to the other one, which is the bigger one that I'll take from this one, and let's see, these are almost the same. I'll take this ones, paste it there, make another copy of that. Then the last one is this one. Yes, the last one will be this one. Control Shift D, something like this. That's basically our profile. So I'm gonna copy this. Okay, Control copy, and then let's go here under Profile Manager and create a new profile. So I'm gonna create a new profile instead of duplicating like the other time when we did. So it's a new profile, and this will be Rails, oh, what's the name? Let me say Steel Rails, right? Steel Rails. Then okay, here we go. We have this. I'm going to paste that there. I'll just use the center of the current view. Then I'm going to pick it from this midpoint and then place it there. Click outside, get rid of this one. Make sure your nominal or these guides are outside your elements. Then let's select all this and then change the material to be a steel, because these are steel. I'll say structural steel, for example. Now the issue is they are different in terms of color. Let me copy and bring the image here. But before I do that, let me save before I lose this. I can copy the image so that I can reference easily within the Profile Manager. Paste it here, paste the image there, I'll move it to the side. Okay, so the first one is gray, so I'm going to select this, then come here under component selected, right? And we can override the surface. I would say paint gray. Sorry about that. Let's say this one will be paint gray, and then the second one will be white. Second and third are on a white color. Let's override. Then paint. I'm gonna go with glossy white. The fourth, or all this will be gray. So I'm going to say this will be gray. Override. Search for a paint. Let's say light gray. Okay, so once we're done, we hit save. Let's go back to our railing and see how we can place that. I'm going to collapse this for now, and then open the settings of the wall. Now, instead of having too many rails here, I'm gonna get rid of everything and leave one. Let's just remove everything. We have this one that is left that we're going to change to a profile. Okay, and then if you go down here under rail and rail component settings, change the profile to be a rail or this newly created profile. We did the same mistake again. We need to go back first. Let me hit OK. under the profile manager and make this available for the railing tool, and then save again. Let's go back so that it can be available under this. If you check, and let's see, what is the name again for that? It's still rails. Still rails, which is this one. I'm going to get rid of the fixing. What else again can I? Yes, I think everything is super. Now is the offset, the distance, because I mean the height of it, because if you hit OK, you would see it's been positioned on the top side. It looks horrible because of the distance between the elements. I think we need to spread it on the height of the remaining section. So I would say let's open this elevation, right, to measure the distance, the height of where this is supposed to be. I'll hit M on your keyboard and measure this distance, which is pretty much 1.4. Okay, I need to distribute this along that. So I'm going to go back to our profile, and then I'm going to draw a line of 1.4 from the base, or from the point. 1.4, enter. I'm going to drag this line just outside the elements a bit, and then move this guy up there to clear the space. So we have a challenge of distributing this along that. So it's going to be quite challenge, because they are in different sizes. So another way is to, okay, I can say move this one at the top there, and maybe use 100 as a distance between these two. Let's see. I'm feeling lazy to do the math of how can I distribute this, but I just picked 100 with the hope that it will work. So I'm going to do that. Let me know in the comment section, how would you deal with this kind of a situation? But for now, I can just do that. 100. It's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all, because I can see it's coming there. It's 100 as well. Move down by 100. Okay. I think we're short a little bit. What's left here is 190, so I can distribute that 10 10 10 10 alone. These ones I can select this, move down by 10. I'm gonna go with this one, move by 10 as well, and move this by 10. This also by 10. Where are we? This one 10. Wow, this is a huge gap. It was supposed to be 10, not 100. 10. The last one 10. There, hit save. Let's see on the, yes, now we have pretty much closer to what we want. So now we need to bring it back by, let's open its settings. We need to bring it back instead of 1.7. Maybe it's supposed to start at 500. 500. No. 1 point. Okay, let's see. 900 is the height. Wow. I'm just doing trial and error. Let's say 1.2. Okay, I think 1.1 would do. 1.1 would do. Or maybe 1.150. Yes. If you hit OK, no way. So I can go to this kind of situations. You can also address it maybe on the elevation like this, and then I can select this and then hit edit. By using edit mode, I can select this item separately, then I can just drag it down like that. maybe to by 300. No, it's not enough. 200 is not enough, because by the look of things we need to drop it down a bit. Let me see here. This will be 40, so I need to distribute the 40 on all this so that you can have enough space there. I can hit exit. Let's just confirm with this. Yeah, you could see there's a little bit of a gap or a distance between the top of your column and the railing, same as to this one. I think let's go back to our profile, and I'm gonna move everything like that by maybe 50. No, could have, let's say another 50. Okay, then I'll select all of these guys, move up by 40, do the same to this one, up by 40. Am I doing the right thing? Let's measure this distance, 100, measure the distance, 110, distance 110, right. Now I'm doing the right thing. This should get 10, so that here it becomes 110, there also 110, there's also 110. I think it's perfect. I'll hit save once I'm done with this, and it should be updated. Wow, not that bad, right? Not that bad at all. I like it. It came out the way I wanted. Now the last thing to do, let me just select this and then hit F5 to isolate it from the other elements. I can get rid of the profile manager. It did its job. Thank you so much, profile manager, for that assistant. I won't survive this world without you. So now we have an issue of having this post at the ends, both ends of our wall or fence. I'm going to go back here under settings. This is created by this post. Let's set this to be none or invisible, then hit OK. So we would have this always, or we can replace that. Instead of removing it, we can replace that by our column A. I think that's pretty much the best thing. Okay, so you see we have another challenge of the profile. It goes beyond the thickness of our post. So what we can do to address this situation, we can say under the segment, we select this. We have this distance, which is created by horizontal offset. This is the handrail height. Let me see something first before I make a decision. Okay, I think it's that. This is the one that we need to reduce. If we say 300 because of the thickness of our column. No, it's not. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. Let me know in the comment section how we address this, because we don't have that feature. Because this one, I don't think it's for, because if you hit OK, it will, that's the horizontal offset. This will be the problem. No, that's not what we want. Let me know in the comment section how you can address. It's not a big deal, because if it were protruding further, I would say, yeah, it's a big deal. But now, it's not. It's just on the edge. For rendering purposes, yes, it will be an issue. But an issue that it can be addressed, right? So if I come here and change the override to simplify in order for me to have a nice black round lines. Wow, I'm impressed with this, guys. It's almost related to what I've created here. Let me know what you think. We can also add these details that we have on the advertise. It's already there. It's already there. It's already there. It depends on how you see things, right? Okay, let me try something. I would go under options, elements, attributes, and then surfaces. If I say the black surface, if I increase the size of it, I'll make sure it's linked proportion. Then if I make this to represent more like a block, let's say I would say double this, or if not, let me go for the T or 40. Okay, and then hit OK. Let's see. Yes, something like that. All right, something like that. And then I can do the same to the other surface, which is this. Make sure it's linked, and 4,000. Yeah, perfect. It now represents more like a blocks, even though it looks huge, but it is what it is. I think it's really what I wanted. Perfect. Let me know in the comment section what you think, guys, by this. I really appreciate it if you made towards or this far. And I can only ask you to subscribe if you haven't, and share this video, like and share this video with those that you think they'll benefit from it. Also, let me take this opportunity to ask you to check out our website, msbeam.store. We have pretty much everything in terms of the resources that can really optimize and speed up your workflow. Resources such as templates, presets, project samples. We also have high quality ArchiCAD object libraries that we create, just like this one. This is more like a library that you can also have in your go check it out and let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Cheers.